Folks who live in New York City have been pretty dismayed by the socialist promises of a lot of free stuff and then not really getting it. Zohran Mamdani saying, we don't have the money for it yet. Well, a lot of folks are also counting the days till 2029 when they have the chance to limit Mamdani to a one-term office. That one man in particular with vast experience in law enforcement in the Big Apple says that he is the ideal choice to become New York City's next mayor.
Yeah, that person, Chell, served as chief of department for the New York Police Department from 2024 to 2025 after having held numerous leadership roles with the NYPD throughout his career. Now, Chell recently announced his candidacy for New York City mayor and will run as an independent. And during his appearance yesterday here on National Report, he delivered a message to his naysayers.
Over the years, people ask me, John, you should run for something. And I say, you know what? I'm going to get involved and I'm going to run. And for the people that think that it's a long shot, well, great. The guy who came down an escalator that everyone laughed at, now we call him 45 and 47, President Trump.
And who better to assess the New York City mayoral picture than America's mayor himself? It's our pleasure to welcome back Rudy Giuliani to National Report, former mayor of New York City. Great to have you back with us.
Great to be with you.
Yeah, I recall that one of the first things you did was go after quality of life crimes. Especially everybody would complain about squeegee men.
Yep.
But it's those low-level crimes that you argued grow into bigger crimes. And right now, New York City is a pit. I mean, you're walking over bodies. You've got just big smoke clouds of pot that you have to get through as you're walking down the street. What would a John Chell mayorship do for this city?
Well, I welcomed. It's welcome to see an opponent that has relevant qualifications to be mayor of New York City. Among other things, Mamdani is a child who's completely lost. He never worked a day in his life. He's a rich boy who's a combination of a communist and an admirer of Islamic terrorism. This is only a nightmare, really. If you consider we're about to celebrate our 25th anniversary of September 11, if you had told me on the afternoon of September 11, while the debris was falling on me and I was trying to save lives, that we were going to have a combination communist admirer of Islamic terrorists as a mayor at any time in the next 100 years, I would have said, you're crazy. So I don't know about this candidate. I don't know him. I'd have to evaluate him. Is he better than Mamdani? Of course. Is that an endorsement? Hardly. I mean, you could put up about 1,000 people there that I would pick as better than Mamdani. I mean, maybe as long as they're fiercely loyal to the United States, they talk more about loving the United States than Hamas and Palestine and places like that. And they are not they're not governed by a philosophy that any intelligent, educated human being would know is one of the greatest failures in human history, otherwise known as socialism. So this guy is better. Is he the guy? I don't know. We're going to have to see. The main thing is New York is in I hate to call it a war, but we're in a war to protect our city, our civilization. If we have religions, our religion, they want to take that all away from us. Want to take our children away at 2 years old and begin to do what Marx told them to do. That's the ideal age, by the way, for Marx, for Hitler, for Stalin. Get them at 2, and you can get the parents out of the picture. Can't you see that theme over the last 7 or 8 years? Get the parents out of the picture. You see it playing out in Virginia. You see it playing out all over the country in the Democratic Party. Parents don't count. The teachers' union runs things. The teachers' union began as a communist union. What the heck do you think it is now? So, yeah. We have to get a great candidate to save New York, and in part to save America, because they're coming to take us. They're coming to take it away from us.
Right.
And they've made strides. And you got an election in Michigan that this year, to me, I was just saying this, I believe that's our critical bellwether election.
Sure.
Saeed could be worse than Mamdani, if that's possible. And he is on his way if a really great candidate, Mike Rogers, doesn't defeat him.
Yeah.
The mere fact that he's a candidate frightens me.
Mr. Mayor, I want to get back in terms of what we're seeing in New York City, too, still. I mean, there's some business groups. They have filed 2 lawsuits against Mayor Mamdani over his plan to create those 5 city-owned grocery stores by 2029. They're arguing that the plan will eventually put them out of business. Here's how Mayor Mamdani defended his plan during a recent press conference. Let's take a listen.
I continue to be fully confident in both the legality and the importance of our initiative to deliver 5 city-run grocery stores, 1 in each borough, to the people of our city. We are talking about a reflection of a cost of living crisis that has seen grocery prices increase by about 30% over the last few years. And we're also talking about delivering 5 city-run grocery stores in a city of 8.5 million people that has more than 1,000 grocery stores.
Okay, do you think that this is ultimately going to work, or is this just another example of socialism, communism that has failed in the past?
Oh, my goodness, yes. Of course it is. All you have to do is be old enough to remember how the Soviet Union crashed.
Right.
When for 7 months, the people of Russia couldn't get food in the government-owned stores. Cuba, why do you think people are starving in Cuba? When problems occur, this is true of China, too, which is why it really isn't at a level of the United States economy. The economy can't fix itself. They have to command fixes for the economy. Now, how do you command how do you command productivity? I command productivity. Yeah. No, you incentivize productivity. It's a stupid concept that is only embraced by people who are naive, silly, or very badly motivated in that they want a dictatorship. Socialism has to lead to dictatorship. It inevitably leads to dictatorship, and it is almost indistinguishable from communism. After all, who's the father of socialism? Karl Marx. Who's the father of communism? Karl Marx. Daddy didn't bring them both up to be inconsistent with each other. He brought them both up for one to be the economic version of his insanity, and the other to be the political version of his insanity. And if I could trace for you every one of the things we've been upset about in the last 30 years, they all go back to the tree. They all go back to Marx. Mm-hmm. From what's going on in the schools, to what they're doing with the police, to what they're doing with our religions and our morality. Marx was in favor of a completely hedonistic world, and at times flirted with being satanic. So any intelligent Westerner embracing this is either poorly educated or very poorly motivated.
Well, people definitely have to, figure out what's going on and where their life will be leading, depending on the choices they make. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, thank you very much.